What's up, guys? Dr. Seth back here to help solve some of your powerlifter problems. Last week, I posted the reel on hinged kettlebell rotations, swinging a kettlebell side to side while bent over, and that sucker blew up in part because everyone freaked out about how people are going to die and discs will be herniated and spines will explode and they won't be able to walk and blah, 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 blah. And the thing is that everyone with that belief, everyone commenting that stuff, I guarantee that they have jacked up backs. And their backs are not jacked up because they did rotational work. Their backs are jacked up because they haven't trained rotation. Because it's like if we label a range of motion bad, if we label an exercise as terrible, we are only going to get less capable in that plane of motion. We're going to be less prepared to handle it should we go there. So if we never do any spinal rotation work, if we have to rotate our back, if we have to twist, if we have to bend over and rotate, if we have to swing something heavy side to side, we are going to be at risk of getting jacked up. And one of the dudes that was commenting on there, I don't know why, I decided to try to mess with him a little bit. And I was like, yo, are you afraid of golf too? And his response was that golf is the #1 cause of low back injuries, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know if that's a true statistic or not. But the thing is, it's like, if people's backs are getting jacked up from golfing, it's not that the rotation in golf is bad. It's just that they are not prepared to handle the rotational demands associated with it. And had those golfers trained some rotation, they probably wouldn't have gotten jacked up. And the point that I'm trying to get across here is that no movement, no exercise is inherently bad. It's just a matter of, did that exercise exceed our level of preparation? And if it did, the thing is like, obviously we can go back and make sure that we're scaling things so we don't exceed preparation, but we could also make sure that we are more prepared to do it. And even like in the context of powerlifting, like squat, bench, deadlift, we do not need to rotate in those movements. But one of the most common problems that I get asked about is, hey, I'm twisting on my squat, I'm twisting on my deadlift, I'm twisting on my bench. How do I solve this? I'm already doing all this anti-rotation work. And it's like, if someone is rotating on their squat, bench, deadlift, it's not that the problem is they need to do more anti-rotation. It's that they lack rotational ability and their body is just kind of twisting because they have no control over their rotation in space. So the solution is not to do more planks, is not to do more pal-off presses, is not to do more big 3 stuff. The solution is to build up rotational capacity, build up rotational tolerance, so that then they can translate that to the specific skill of not rotating. Because if we suck at controlling this, we have no hope of maintaining solid. And it kind of comes back to the idea of GPP versus SPP. So like, specific physical preparation for squat, bench, deadlift is going to be that anti-rotation is going to be locking down in a brace. We need to be good at that. But if we bring up the general quality of flexing, extending, if we bring up the general quality of rotating, we're going to be training all of those muscles that contribute to bracing through the range of motion, actively contracting them, getting them to contract harder, getting them better at contracting, developing neurological control over position, developing a sense of proprioception, and all that will translate back to the skill of being able to hold our brace. So it's like, in life, we need to rotate. In powerlifting, the better we are at rotating, the better we can be at bracing. The better we are at flexing and extending, the better we can be at bracing. So it does translate back. Obviously, we don't need to prioritize rotation as a #1 thing, but we need to be good enough at it that we can at least do it. And we need to be good enough at it that if we have to bend over and pick something up and swing it to the side, if we have to shovel snow and rotate, that we're not going to jack ourselves up. And the other week, I had a rehab consult where the dude's an arborist, and his chainsaw bucked on a tree that kind of shot him backwards when he was bent over, and he tweaked his back. So what did we have him do? We had him ease into rotation work to build back tolerance. We had him then start loading rotation, and the next week he was able to squat pretty damn decently and finish out his meet prep strong. Rotation is not the enemy, just like flexion is not the enemy. Our spines have joints, and those joints are there because our spines are supposed to be able to move. If we do not move our spine, we're going to get worse at moving our spine, and the worse we are moving our spine, the less capable we'll be if we are ever put in a position where it has to move. So guys, I'm not saying that we need to be a gymnast. I'm not saying that we need to be super rotational. I'm not saying that we need to be able to spin around a 360. What I am saying is that we should have some ability in rotation and we should be looking to build our ability. Obviously, there will be a point where it just becomes a circus trick, and we do not need to get to that point. We need to be proficient enough that we can do it. We need to be proficient enough that we can do it with some load, and we need to make sure that we maintain that ability as we go. Obviously, the specific brace is going to be what we need to perfect for a powerlifter. But we also need to make sure that we maintain the general quality enough so that the specific does not get detracted from. So guys, do some rotation. Don't be afraid of it. You will get better at it. If your back is jacked up from rotating, it's not that rotation is bad. It's that you weren't prepared to rotate. So all we really need to do is elevate preparation. And the next time you have to rotate, you will be better at it. Don't be afraid of training. Thank you for watching. If you got something out of this, like, follow, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and peace out.